For centuries, the Olympic Games have been shrouded in mystery and power, where myths blend with history and the echoes of ancient chants still linger in the air. Imagine a tradition so ancient that its origins are lost in the mists of time, yet so enduring that it continues to captivate the world today. What secrets lie hidden in the rituals that once summoned gods to witness human feats? How did these sacred games survive the fall of empires and the rise of new civilizations, only to be reborn in a modern world? This is the untold saga of the Olympics, a legacy forged in divine reverence, tested by centuries of change, and resurrected to inspire a global phenomenon. The journey begins in the shadows of history, where every victory was more than just a triumph. It was a step towards immortality. The origins of the Olympic Games are woven into the rich tapestry of ancient Greek mythology and culture. The first recorded games in 776 BCE were more than mere athletic contests. They were deeply rooted in religious observance, honoring Zeus, the king of the gods. The ancient Greeks believed that the gods themselves descended to witness the games, bestowing their favor upon the victors, who were seen as embodiments of divine grace and human excellence. The city of Olympia, nestled in the verdant plains of the Peloponnese, became the hallowed ground where these sacred games unfolded. It was here that athletes from across the Greek world converged every 4 years, laying aside their differences to compete in a display of strength, skill, and endurance. The Olympic Games were not just a celebration of physical prowess, but a reflection of the Greek ideal of arete, a concept encompassing excellence in mind, body, and spirit. The ancient games were a unifying force in a world often divided by war and political strife. The Olympic truce, or ekacheria, was a period during which hostilities ceased, allowing athletes and spectators to travel safely to Olympia. This truce was not merely a practical measure. It symbolized the power of the games to transcend conflict, bringing people together in a shared reverence for the divine and the pursuit of honor. The ancient Olympics left a lasting legacy. These ancient games started a custom that would last for millennia and encouraged many generations to aim high. The current Olympic movement was founded on the dignity, grandeur, and perfection that characterized the ancient games. These ideals still hold true today. Sport, religious ceremony, and public spectacle were all intricately woven together during the ancient Olympic Games. 5 days of intense competition marked the Games, which featured foot races, boxing, wrestling, and the deadly hybrid sport known as pancration. All sports strained the limits of human physicality. Even though the games were performed in honor of Zeus and other Greek gods, they carried a deeper spiritual importance beyond just being physical competitions. Athletes in the ancient Olympics were revered figures, often elevated to the status of heroes. They underwent rigorous training, adhering to strict diets and exercises to prepare for the games. Victory was the highest honor, and the rewards were immense. Garlands of olive leaves, statues erected in their likeness, and the eternal glory of having their names inscribed in history. For these athletes, the Olympics were not just a competition, but a path to immortality. The spiritual dimension of the Games was evident in the rituals that accompanied them. Sacrifices were made to the gods, and elaborate processions and feasts marked the beginning and end of the Games. The athletes themselves were seen as offering their physical excellence to the gods, competing not just for personal glory, but to honor the divine. This interplay between the physical and the spiritual gave the ancient Olympics a profound depth, elevating them beyond mere sport to a celebration of the highest ideals of Greek civilization. Greek civilization also benefited greatly from the ancient Olympics, which acted as a unifying factor in a fractured globe. The Games offered the Greek city-states, who were frequently at conflict with one another, a unique chance to unite in peace. The Olympic ceasefire made travel secure and strengthened the Greek people's sense of national unity. The pan-Hellenic character of the Games, which welcomed all free Greek men regardless of their city-state, served to further strengthen this sense of unanimity. Thus, the ancient Olympics served as a potent symbol of spiritual and cultural union, in addition to being a showcase for athletic prowess. However, the glory of the ancient Games would not last forever. The rise of the Roman Empire and the spread of Christianity brought about the decline of the Olympics. The Games, once a celebration of pagan gods, were increasingly seen as incompatible with the Christian faith. In 393 CE, the Roman Emperor Theodosius I, a devout Christian, decreed the abolition of the Games as part of his broader effort to suppress pagan practices. With this edict, the ancient Olympic tradition came to an end, its sacred grounds left to fall into ruin, and its memory fading into the mists of time, until it was revived centuries later in a radically different world. The modern revival of the Olympic Games in the late 19th century was nothing short of a cultural renaissance, driven by a vision of unity, peace, and the celebration of human achievement. At the heart of this revival was Baron Pierre de Coubertin, a French aristocrat and educator who was deeply influenced by the ideals of the ancient games. Coubertin believed that the Olympic Games could serve as a platform for promoting international understanding and cooperation, transcending the political and social divisions of the time. The first modern Olympic Games were held in Athens in 1896, a symbolic choice that linked the new movement to its ancient origins. The Games were a modest affair compared to today's global spectacles, with just 241 athletes from 14 nations competing in 9 sports. Yet, despite its small scale, the Athens Olympics were a resounding success, capturing the imagination of the world and laying the foundation for the future of the Olympic movement. Coubertin's vision for the modern Olympics was not merely to replicate the ancient games, but to adapt them to the contemporary world. He introduced the concept of amateurism, believing that the Olympics should be a contest of honor and sportsmanship, free from the corrupting influence of professional competition. This principle, although contentious and eventually redefined, was central to the early Olympic ethos. The revival of the Olympics also reflected broader social and political changes of the time. The late 19th and early 20th centuries were periods of intense nationalism, but also of growing internationalism, as nations began to interact more through diplomacy, trade, and culture. The Olympics became a stage where nations could assert their identity and prowess, while also participating in a shared global enterprise. This dual nature of the Games, as both a nationalistic showcase and an international celebration, has remained a defining characteristic of the Olympics to this day. The scope and significance of the modern Olympics expanded along with their evolution. The Olympics expanded to encompass a greater range of sports and competitors in the early 20th century, as well as the addition of the Winter Olympics and the participation of women in additional events. The Olympic Games started to develop into the international phenomenon that it is today, a journey filled with both successes and setbacks. The Olympic Games of the 21st century are a far cry from the modest revival of 1896. Today, they are a global spectacle, watched by billions and featuring thousands of athletes from nearly every nation on Earth. The Olympics have become the ultimate stage for showcasing human achievement, where the finest athletes in the world compete for glory in an array of disciplines, from traditional events like track and field to newer sports like skateboarding and surfing. The modern Olympics are more than just a series of competitions. They are a celebration of the Olympic spirit, which embodies the ideals of excellence, friendship, and respect. This spirit is evident in the stories of athletes who overcome immense challenges to reach the Games, whether it be personal hardship, political conflict, or physical disability. The Paralympics, which run parallel to the Olympic Games, exemplify this spirit, highlighting the extraordinary achievements of athletes with disabilities and reminding the world of the power of resilience and determination. The Olympics today are also a showcase of cultural diversity and global unity. The opening and closing ceremonies, in particular, are grand spectacles that celebrate the host nation's culture while also reflecting the shared values of the Olympic movement. These ceremonies are a reminder that, despite the differences that divide us, the Olympics bring the world together in a common pursuit of excellence. However, the modern Olympics are not without their challenges. The commercialization of the Games, the ever-increasing cost of hosting, and the pressure on athletes to perform at the highest level have all sparked debate about the future of the Olympics. There are concerns that the Games have become too large and too commercialized, losing sight of the original ideals that inspired their revival. The challenges of ensuring fair play, maintaining the integrity of the competitions, and addressing the environmental and social impact of the Games are ongoing issues that the Olympic movement must navigate. Despite these challenges, the Olympic Games remain a powerful symbol of what humanity can achieve. They remind us that, even in a world of division and conflict, there is still a place for peaceful competition, for celebrating the best in each other, and for striving towards a common goal. The Olympics today continue to inspire, to bring people together, and to push the boundaries of what is possible. As a reflection of the social, political, and cultural shifts that impact our society, the Olympic Games have always been more than just an athletic competition, a microcosm of the larger currents of change sweeping through society. The Olympics have served as a venue for both human accomplishments and tragedies throughout their existence.